It's another Wednesday and another new comic book day. Technically, I'm recording this the day after, but here we are. Apologies in advance. I have felt a bit ill recently, and I'm very tired, but the show goes on. So this week, I have 8 pulls. 2 of them will be exempt from my countdown because I'm not caught up on the series yet. One of them is The Invisible Man, issue 2. I've not read issue 1 yet. This is by James Tynion IV. I've actually been, on a separate note, reading his Detective Comics run. I just finished up his run on that, and it was really good. So I am excited to read this. And then Hornsby and Halo, I am not even close to caught up on, but it's on the list, and we'll be getting this month for sure. So, also I got a new camera. Let me know if it looks better than the last. So that leaves us with 6 books this week. As per usual, I will go from least favorite to favorite. If I talk about spoilers, so with this new camera, it has like gesture features. So if I raise my hand up, it'll like try to autofocus and zoom and stuff. So don't want that to happen because I already did that in the past recording because I forgot. So for this one, because I am tired and sick and I don't want to deal with timestamps, if I talk about spoilers, I'll hold up this Sharpie. And when I'm done talking about spoilers for that section, I will lower the Sharpie so you know when to mute me and when to unmute me. So here we go. Number 6, my least favorite, and a series I'm officially dropping even though it's halfway through the 4-issue miniseries. Spider-Man 94 by J.M. DeMatteis, art by Jim Toh, colorist Jim Campbell, letterer Joe Carmagna. Man. So, obviously last issue there was talk about Peter's face, how it was just off. A lot of the character faces were off. On top of that, I also don't like the Moreland Spider Totem story beats that they're going with here. So it was already a lot going against it. This week you don't see Peter's face once, which is kind of hilarious. But you do still get some weird eccentricities with the art. Like for the most part, the faces on everyone look okay. But Spider-Man a couple times does this weird like shoulder in front of his face pose. And normally I don't notice this stuff in art, but like does it again. It's just a weird choice to like block his face, and then I don't know. It's it's more Moreland stuff. You see Spidey beating up some not even D-list, E-list villains. I said the faces were mostly okay. Aunt May's Aunt Anna. Tell me that's not just Foggy Nelson. I think it's the same picture. So, yeah, and then you have Kane being resurrected again, and it's just like, I don't know. It's just all boring. So, yeah, that's, and then, here we go. And then you see at the end Moreland carrying Peter's body away after knocking him out, and then you see Kraven standing on the rooftop watching, and it's like, what? So yeah, definitely my least favorite of the week. Out of 5, like a 1.5, a 2. I really didn't like it. So that is my number 6 pick of the week. My number 5 pick of the week is actually a huge disappointment for me. So it is Everything Dead and Dying number 2. So the first issue was really fascinating because it's centered around kind of interactions with zombies in the genre that I hadn't seen before, which is this husband coexisting with his zombified husband and daughter, because when these people turn into zombies, they keep basically doing whatever their last day's routine was. And then at the end of last issue, we see other survivors come to his house and confront him. And this issue kind of deals with that. And it's just way less interesting. It becomes more like... For me, it lost the incredible kind of uniqueness of the first issue, to where now it's just like, it's the core concept of Jack, the main character, still taking care of and watching after his family after they've turned is still an interesting core, but I see it in this issue just became less and less about that and more about these other survivors. Oh, look, there's zombies in this guy's house. We have to shoot them. We have to save him. Jack's like, no, they're my family. And then everything kind of plays out the way you would think it would. So yeah, I was pretty bummed out by this, to be honest with you. That issue number 1 was one of my favorite issue 1s of the year so far. And yeah, this dipped super hard for me. So probably give this a 2 out of 5. So that's my number 5. My number 4, also not my favorite issue of this respective series, which is a series I have been loving, is Superman, the Kryptonite Spectrum, number 3. In this issue, as was teased at the end of last issue, this Kryptonite has turned Clark basically into Superboy. It's like de-aged him. The best part about the issue is Clark's interactions with Billy, because him and Billy are both kids now, so they're like hanging out, and it's kind of heartwarming a little bit where Billy talks about himself going to therapy, art therapy, so he draws his feelings and then talks about it with his therapist. And throughout the issue, you do get these awesome, like, hand-drawn pages from Billy. And Clark tries it too, to just kind of work through everything. So that is pretty cute, but I think the first issue was so unique with the Kryptonite that messed with Superman's sense of time, and especially the resolution of him taking the actual panels from the comic and having to reorder them to get everything right. And then last issue was fun because we did see him just get huge, and the combination with the red Kryptonite and the other heroes coming and having to kind of like take him down. But this issue, it's really about Bruce in this latter half of the issue trying to find a cure or some sort of treatment to get Superman back to normal. So Bruce does make a discovery about the rainbow kryptonite that was revealed at the beginning of the series when we saw all of them laid out with each other, and that the rainbow kryptonite might not be what they think it is. This double page splash of Clark and Billy on a rocket that was coming off of a blown up roller coaster is fantastic. But yeah, it's still good. It's still very good. I still really like the art, which I know is definitely divisive, but I think I also really didn't like it at the beginning of the first issue just because I wasn't used to it. But now I really love it. It just kind of gives everything this off-settling quality to it, which I really like. But yeah, I mean, I guess at the end of the day, I just didn't find this one as interesting or kind of innovative as the first 2 issues in the series. And as a reminder, we'll go back to Everything Dead and Dying in a second, but Kryptonite Spectrum is written by W. Maxwell Prince, artist Martin Morazzo, colorist Chris O'Halloran, letterer is Good Old Neon. This is the oh my gosh, I just want to say the Ice Cream Team. It's the horror book, the Ice Cream horror book. My God, okay. But yeah, I would give this like a 2.5. I'd give it a 3. I'd give it a 3 out of 5. And then just as to do my due diligence, Everything Dead and Dying was written by Tate Brombal, artwork by Jacob Phillips, colors by Pip Martin, and letters by Aditya Bidikar. So yeah, but anyway, Superman Kryptonite Spectrum, my number 4 book of the week. Number 3, I just got caught up, much like last week where I had just gotten caught up on Rook Exodus before issue 7 came out. I just got caught up on Transformers before reading issue 25 this morning, which is the first issue from the new creative team of Robert Kirkman and Dan Mora. As someone who is not a Transformers fan, I don't think I love the series as much as a lot of people do. I think it's a really good series, but I don't seem to connect with it, again, as like some other folks do, which is perfectly fine. I still think it's a really solid series, and that's why I'm starting to pick it up in singles. But, I think this was a good transition issue. So it picks up pretty close to where issue 24 ended, and you still get some great Jorge Corona artwork. You get this double-page splash of Megatron just punching what's-his-face. But what is interesting is that obviously the artist is changing from Jorge Corona to Dan Mora. So you open the book and it's very clearly Jorge Corona art. And you're like, I wonder how this is going to work. And then you get halfway through the book and you get this splash page, and then boom, transition into the very clean Dan Mora art, which honestly, the Jorge Corona and kind of Daniel Warren Johnson style of art is one that had to grow on me a little bit, just because of how gritty and dirty in a good way it all is. Dan Mora's art I've loved from day one on all the other stuff he's done before this, but you still get to see Optimus Prime as he's kind of coming back into himself after kind of hitting a low at the end of the last arc. But you also see him start to interact with the US government, who actually has a lot of resources that the Transformers can use. You can kind of see, I don't think this is really that much of a spoiler, it's not like a huge plot point, but I'll do it anyway. You find out that there are 2 Transformers who have been on Earth, one since 1906 and one since 1936, that the US government found and have been analyzing and inspecting, Mirage and Bulkhead. So that was an interesting kind of revelation, but then you get Miles Mayhem, who I have not been reading G.I. Joe, but that certainly sounds like a G.I. Joe character. But yeah, it very much feels like kind of a transition issue, which is perfectly fine. I'm excited for this series. I have the Daniel Warren Johnson variant cover right here, but yeah, it's more Transformers. I don't think there was a dip in quality in terms of writing. Obviously, the art is drastically different, but I think you're going from one phenomenal artist to another. It's more just a vastly different style. So obviously art is subjective, so everyone will have their specific tastes, but I love Dan Mora. I haven't seen him do something that I haven't liked yet, so I am excited to see him continue on with this book. So yeah, I'd give Transformers probably like a 4 out of 5 for issue 25 here. And just as a reminder, Mike Spicer is the colorist and Russ Wooten is the letterer. So that is my number 3. I need to read the creative teams at the beginning of my spiel. Number 2. Number 2 is Absolute Batman number 13. The big formal introduction of Selena Kyle's Catwoman. This is a variant by Stanley Artgerm Lau, who does a lot of great variant covers. Here's the A cover. And this is, of course, written by Scott Snyder, with art by Nick Dragotta and colorist Frank Martin with Clayton Cowles as the letterer. Just this double-page splash is great. But you see Catwoman and Batman's relationship that definitely has existed for years and years, obviously. They've known each other since they were kids, along with the rest of Batman's rogues gallery. They all grew up as best friends. Selina has distanced herself from the group and kind of disappears for lengths of time, but you see how close her and Bruce are. It's kind of like it very much seems like a toxic relationship where they kind of get together and just call each other out on everything constantly. But you do see very clearly, you see the venom in Bruce's back. It's still like unclear as to what that effect will take, but God, Nick Dragotta's art. Everything Nick Dragotta draws, minus Bruce's face sometimes, which sometimes his face can look like Superman's face from Superman for All Seasons, with the art by Tim Sale, which is beautiful, but Clark does look like a human thumb in that story. The story's phenomenal. I don't like Jeff Loeb as a person. Tim Sale, his art is fantastic. Superman is a thumb in that story. Sometimes Batman can be a thumb in this story. But we do see the introduction of the Red Hood Gang, and the leader of the Red Hood Gang as well, which turns out to be... I guess it's a spoiler. Yeah, I'm not going to show the picture. It's absolute Harley Quinn, basically. And the design is cool, actually. But you also see basically the Red Hood Gang shoot a rocket at Selina, and Batman trying to save her. At first I was like, this is ridiculous, because he shoulder charges one of the supports out for the Ferris wheel to fall over, but then you see at the bottom, you see, oh, come on, Ross. You see the venom, and you're like, oh no, like, what does this mean long term? But you see just a lot of good, you see some more stuff with Bane, but really this is a Catwoman issue, and it's a great relationship piece between Bruce and Selina. It was just really great. So this was a great issue. I don't remember the last time Absolute Batman had a bad issue, or even really a mediocre issue. They've all been good to fantastic. What I am very excited about, obviously, issue 14, I'm excited for. Yes, that's the next one. But what I'm really excited about, which I didn't realize until I got to this page, is the Absolute Batman Annual that is coming out this month. I don't know. I haven't looked up the solicits for when, but it's coming out this month. But it's being written and drawn by, look at that, Daniel Warren Johnson and James Herron and Meredith McLaren. So, very excited about that. But Absolute Batman, great book. I would give this also probably a 4 out of 5. I prefer it a little bit over Transformers just because I connect more with the IP, I guess. And then number 1 this week is DCKO number 1. This is the A cover with the lenticular see-through that opens up into the A cover by Javi Fernandez. It's been interesting because I've been seeing a lot of discourse about this book. A lot of people generally like it. A lot of people feel like it's very exposition heavy, which I can see, but I guess I didn't have as much of a problem with it as a lot of other people. Like, don't get me wrong, it's a wordy book. It's a wordy book, but I think just seeing everyone together navigating the situation, like all of the heroes together, and just like planning out next steps, I think just took it over the edge for me. The book is split into like several chapters. in terms of, and there are like small time skips in between. So the first one is like, oh, we need to figure out a way to save the Earth because Time Trapper and Booster Gold have come back saying Earth is done. Like, we need to start fresh potentially. And someone was like, that happened recently, due to a higher being that we weren't aware of at first. It was eventually folded back in, but yeah, for a while it was separate there, and very clear. They even noted in the editor's note, which I don't think they needed to do, but the New 52 happened. But Chapter 2 skips ahead to trying to basically capture the villains so they can't become a part of this tournament. And the artwork throughout by Javi Fernandez, at first I was a little hesitant on it because in the intro pages of the book, Bruce, Diana, and Wayne are playing board games prior to everything happening. And I think Bruce just looked a little off for me, but that was me misinterpreting the coloring, where he looked blonde, like bleach blonde in like the first or like the second panel, but that's just the lighting coming in from the outside during the sunset. So, but I mean, there's a lot of, the art's cool, man. The art's really cool. So it basically ends, I mean, this is an issue 1 of an event. It's a setup issue, but we get to see some really cool stuff. We get to see, like in that page I just showed you, some of the characters picking their weapons, because everyone can pick a weapon. Obviously, we've seen the preview of DCKO in the back of every DC book the past 3 months, it feels like, where Superman has like the brass knuckles, but instead of brass, each knuckle has a like exploding star from a dying galaxy, which is just super cool. But at the end, you see kind of the first challenges. Whoever, basically there's a portal that's open, and whoever gets through the portal can compete in the tournament. But up until then, it's like a free-for-all, to where there's parademons and enemies flying everywhere, and people are fighting. You have some fun cameos. My favorite, this is, no one except the 1% of DC fans will care about this one. There's an ambush bug cameo, and I love it so much for no reason. As someone who loves the 52 storyline, seeing ambush bug here is great, but there is a big surprise. Spoiler: Batman dies. Again, it's kind of a shame that we have the solicits for like his own spin-off series where he's fighting the other Robins as Batman, so we kind of knew he wasn't going to make it far, but I thought he would at least get it to the first round. But Joker takes his place in the bracket. So, surprised, not surprised. But yeah, the art is just like, cover up, spoiler. But we get another like full page or full double page splash of just like new artwork, other than the like headshots we got for the bracket. And we also see that Darkseid is potentially like possessing Booster Gold, and also we see the absolute trio of Superman, Batman, and Wonder Woman like standing in the shadows, potentially waiting to be Darkseid's champions. So, man, there's some brutal things that happen in this issue, but I loved it from front to back. I'll tell you what, I was skeptical a little bit. I was very excited. The whole bracket, using a tournament bracket as a framing device for an event will get me every single time. But, you know, I think everyone is a little skeptical when it comes to big 2 crossover events, for good reason, a lot over the years. But if this is just the first one, the first issue, and I thought it was this good, holy crap, dude. This, for me, was 5 out of 5. I loved this thing. I'm so sad we have to wait for issue 2. I just want to dive right in. But yeah, so this is my number 1 pick of the week. Once again, I didn't do what I said I would do and give the creator credits. Written by Scott Snyder, Double Scott Week. Javi Fernandez is the artist. Germanico is the artist during the interlude. Alejandro Sanchez is the colorist. Hassan Otsmain El is the letterer. And that's that. Obviously, there's a ton of variants. Check out a YouTube short I posted recently or on the TikTok. I got 3 blind bags because they're doing blind bags for this event again. So I opened those there. So I'll wait if you want to go watch that. Help me out there. Okay, if you're still here, I'm going to show you anyway. This was not in one of the bags, but I did pick this up just because it was awesome, which is the Daniel Warren Johnson variant of Superman Soup. Like, I'm not a wrestling. I watched wrestling a lot in like 2007 to 2011, but I haven't really watched it since. I want to say Suplex, not a suplex, it's whatever that one is, but it's Superman and Darkseid, and it's awesome. And for a long time, I thought it was Superman suplexing Batman, but this art is awesome. But in terms of the pulls we got from the blind bags, I'm gonna see if I might be able to get another one today, just because I have a problem. I did pull a foil variant of Javi Fernandez's A cover, which is fine. I got Jim Lee's Darkseid cover, which is really cool, but by far my favorite. And if any of you have ever seen the clip of like the old white guy showing up at the party in the middle of the night, and it's the other guy says, "Daddy, chill," and the old white guy says, "What the hell is that?" That's what I said when I pulled this variant cover by Nubovich. What the hell even is a Nubovich? But this is my favorite cover that I pulled by far. The Trinity with... Oh, God. It's so cool. I love this picture so much. The 3 of them over Apocalypse. Man, it's so cool. So, yeah, I'm actually probably going to go to the comic shop after this because I have a problem. So, recapping. Number 6 in last place for me this week, Spider-Man 94. Number 5, Everything Dead and Dying, number 2. Number 4, Superman the Kryptonite Spectrum, number 3. Number 3, yep, Transformers, number 25. Number 2, Batman, number 13. Absolute Batman, number 13. And number 1, DCKO, number 1, #Nubovich. So that is it. Thank you all for watching. I really do appreciate it. I appreciate any likes and or subscriptions you could send my way. In terms of polls for next week, that's what I'm stalling for time for right now. I have Absolute Flash number 8, got Captain America number 4, I have Good as Dead number 2, Justice League Red number 3. I'm picking up the Titans number 28, which is a DCKO tie-in. And that is it. So much in terms of like big, heavy, crazy hitters. Definitely a lighter week next week, but with some still great books that I'm excited about. So yeah, if you pull any blind bags for DCKO, let me know when you got in the comments. I have a problem with blind bags and that sort of a thing. Oh, I did the zoom thing. Oh no. Is it this and then zoom back? Is it this and then zoom back? Zoom down. Yep. Zoom down. Yep. Zoom down. Thanks for watching. I hope you have a great rest of your day. Bye.